Hello, friends. People usually show their true colors in an emergency, and so do animals. It is in such situations that it becomes clear whether one can rely on those around them. This unusual story happened in a small town in the Carpathian Mountains in Romania. One young couple moved there from the big city when a large waste processing plant opened there, which needed workers. The young people found work on the garbage conveyor. But the young woman soon got pregnant, and since she could no longer perform hard manual labor, only the husband continued to work at the plant. Time flew by quickly, and a beautiful baby girl was soon born, a little miracle that her parents loved very much. They named her Violetta. Their life went on as usual. The family might not have been wealthy, but they were certainly happy. One day, as the man was sorting garbage on the conveyor, he noticed that one of the bags was moving, and then he heard a faint squeak coming from it. With trembling hands, he tore open the tightly tied bag and found 2 puppies inside. Unfortunately, only one of them was showing signs of life. The puppies were obviously placed inside the bag when they were still alive and thrown into the trash. That's some outrageous cruelty. The man brought the puppy home. At first, his wife didn't want to keep the animal, but she did offer to find a home for it. But then she saw how excited their 3-year-old daughter got and allowed the dog to stay with the family. They named the puppy Jack. The whole family loved him, but he only recognized Violetta as his mistress. He allowed her everything and never bared his teeth at her. The little girl rode him like a horse, blew on his nose, and buried her fingers in his fur, while the dog heroically endured everything. A gray, fluffy lump with funny ears grew into a huge dog. Jack was always waiting for the girl to come home from daycare and then from school, and whined when she was gone for a long time. They even slept together. The mother tried buying a special bed for Jack, but he still ended up in the girl's bed, at her feet, every night. As the years passed, the girl grew into a beautiful young woman, and her parents opened a small shop. The town gradually changed, and the crime rates went up. That summer, a wave of robberies swept through the town. That was why Violetta rarely left the house at night, preferring to spend her time with a book. That evening, her parents went to a dinner party, leaving her home alone. She was reading yet another novel on the couch when the dog suddenly became restless and rushed for the door. The young woman tried to persuade Jack to wait until morning, but he whined and continued to scratch the door. Violetta had no choice but to get dressed and take the dog outside. There was a forest not far from the house, and that was where the dog led Violetta. At some point, she heard footsteps behind her. 4 men were following the young woman and then surrounded her. Grinning maliciously, they ordered her to take off her jewelry and undress. All that Violetta could do at that moment was to call out to Jack for help. He ran up silently and bit into the thighs of one of the men, and then he bit into the other man's hand. While the 2 of them were rolling on the ground, screaming, the dog closed its jaws on the leg of the 3rd man, but he still managed to stab the dog with a knife. The men fled the scene, and the dog was left on the ground, bleeding. Sobbing, Violetta called her parents, and they quickly took the dog to the nearest hospital. The doctor was outraged because he wasn't a veterinarian, but the pleading eyes of the young woman forced him to take the animal into surgery. An hour later, the doctor came out of the OR saying, "He'll live, but he isn't a dog. He's a wolf." Family was dumbfounded. All this time, a real forest predator had been living with the family. They took Jack home. The fact that apparently their pet wasn't a dog, but a wolf, didn't change anything for the family. They loved him just as much as before. Only now, they were also incredibly grateful to Jack for saving Violetta. And that's all for today, friends. Do you think that animals can really be more noble and loyal than people? Share your thoughts in the comments below the video. Hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.